Hi people, Moin away from Bekir again as always under as usual. Yeah, this is a quick elaboration on what I mentioned in my last mind delving session video regarding Charles Manson, for example. In the comment section, I pinned a comment in there in which I made this statement that I've noticed with a couple of people whose minds I've delved into or dove into, that I see cornfields. Essentially, imagine if you're a mole that's free falling uh, from the air or in the air, and then all of a sudden, the second you hit the ground, you start burrowing underground. So you literally see sky, and then you see cornfields, as in from a first-person perspective, and then you immediately burrow underground, and then you see soil, and then you essentially see, ignore that, and then you see an abyss, essentially nothing but blackness and darkness, like you're in dead space. I simply wanted to, I've come to the conclusion in relation to what this means, based on all the other people I've read and everything. Okay, I've come to the conclusion that this is symbolism for death, but specifically death, a troublesome death, or a death that applies to troublesome people, as opposed to someone that has inner peace. The reason I say this, check this out, is because every serial killer I've read, Aileen Wuornos, John Wayne Gacy, Charles Manson, all of them had this that I can remember, and the difference is that the thing that they all had in common was that they were troubled and they were dead, as in they were no longer alive. So yeah, there you go. In relation to, for example, Aleister Crowley, he's another example of a guy that I read that was dead, that obviously is dead, and has been for a good while, but no cornfields or anything with him. That's because you can safely assume that Aleister, based on who he was as an enlightened person, especially compared to the average person, was definitely is not troubled. He's not mentally plagued or troubled by negativity and negative life experiences. So hence no cornfield symbolism for him. Other people that I've read that were alive never had a cornfield thing about them. I mean, nothing that comes to mind. Okay, purely after thorough analysis, the only thing that I noticed is that it applied to people that were dead and people that were troubled. Okay, and I was like, yeah. So all the serial killers, people that were completely insane, yeah, all of them had this cornfield thing. So you can come to the safe conclusion that that's what it stands for. The whole cornfield burrowing from the air, burrowing into the ground, and then seeing nothing but a dark abyss, like dead space is or a black hole, or just a plain abyss. It essentially stands for death, but it stands for death in a troublesome manner. It stands for dying under unpleasant circumstances. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to bring up the people whose minds I've dove into, where water played a big role. Essentially, you see these people either being near water, or you see them, for example, having any kind of connotation or affiliation with water, or anything that involves water in general. The experience that I've had what, 2 to 3 people that had this thing. Aileen Wuornos was one of them. It simply means that these people either grew up around water or they live near water for a substantial amount of time. I mean, the people who I've read, what I noticed, where this was the case, where you had like water-based symbolism and whatnot, all of them had this one thing in common, which is that they grew up around water or they lived around water for a substantial amount of time. For example, Florida, or any other place you can think of, an island nation, places where they legitimately interacted with water and they lived near it, or they went swimming a lot, they went to the beach a lot, they did stuff like that at an extensive level, and it meant a lot to them. They essentially are fond of living near water. So yeah, there you go. Even Aileen Wuornos, if I'm not mistaken, if I read the Wikipedia section, she lived near Florida for a good, in Florida for a good while. So again, it's highly likely that she was fond of water, and that's why I also saw that, but purely in a symbolic manner. If I remember correctly, with Aileen, it was like dead bodies rising up out of surfacing from underwater. Okay, like when someone kills someone and they dump their body in the ocean or similar, and then it surfaces after a while. It just goes on. It comes up. Um, and yeah, that's all, guys. Let me know if you have any thoughts, and see you guys later. Bye. Turn off, you stupid thing.